Welcome back to Grump's Barn, where today I'm going to be sorting out the bloody brake on this beautiful old motor of mine. Right, sorry it's been a little while, but I've been waiting for the bloody shoes to arrive in the post. Post can be a pain in the arse around here, and supply of shoes also. Oh, and you have to forgive me if my voice sounds a bit funny at times. I have no false teeth in today. They broke. They're currently being repaired. So I'm 3 teeth short. Never mind. Right, let's get on with this. As you can see, I finally have some shoes. Nice Mintex ones. They even come with new bolts for retainers at the bottom, which is nice. I've got a BMS replacement slave cylinder. I thought to sod it. Those old ones are very old. As I say, I did polish them up. The bores seem to be alright on them, but I'm not going to take any chances. Bugger it. And it's easier this bloody way. And these ones I've taken them apart and had a quick check, and they're all fine inside. They're not that badly made. So let's get on and get this bloody wheel off and get this apart. Right, now these brakes, now I've got the wheel and the hub drum off. They have a very, very simple setup. There's one spring here, which goes straight across to the other spring. You have a spring at the top here, which goes from the post on the back of here over to a post down in here. Here's my finger. And they're also held on by this little retainer device here by 2 little bolts. These seize up with astounding regularity. And they actually screw in to the shoe itself. And I hold these two together, stop them flapping about. Right, so first thing I've got to do is undo these 2 bolts down here. Hang on. I'll get the camera around. There we go. Got to get those 2 undone there. I think they're a 3/8 or 10mm. Get those off. Then I can pull the top of the springs out of here. The shoes rather out of here. And pull the whole thing off. Just disconnecting the springs as I go. It's not that difficult. The more difficult bit is getting everything back in there again, because you've got the hub in the way. Never mind, let's get on. There we go, 2 bolts are off. Now we've got to do is just pull that straight out. That is what holds them from wobbling about. And you've got these 2 little bolts here that hold it. Actually came with new ones, these Mintex shoes. I haven't seen those before in one. Nice little touch, eh? Right, now it's just a case, whoops, if I don't knock the light over. Pulling this out of here. And out of the clip at the bottom. And whether it'll let me do it. Just clip this side. That would be a bugger. I'm going to have to do this off camera. Oh, and while I'm here, I've just realised if we look down here, you can actually see down the back there that that spring is attached to the little post on the back of the shoe. There's a little groove in it that the spring sits in. There we go. I've just unhooked the bottom of the shoe from the retaining post where that little keeper sits. I've just taken off with the 2 bolts, and I can now get this right hand shoe free. There we go. complete with its spring, which is just unclipped from the other one. Now the other shoe should pull off. Oh, there we go, it's pulled off. And the springs come with it. Right. Now, so that's the little post on there. That's where the spring sits. Right, before I put those back on, now a case of taking off this old slave cylinder, the dodgy one. And with this one, if you look behind, hang on a minute, let's get some light on the behind of it. There you can see the bleed nipple actually covered by a rubber grommet. Fucking hell, I'm not putting that on there. If you see here and the other side there, over there are bolts that hold the slave cylinder on, and also I've got to take off obviously the brake connector here. But first I'll go and clamp the flexible hose, which is sitting way over there, and I don't lose all my fluid when I take it apart. So I'm going to go and get something to clamp that up, spray a bit of lubricant or penetrating fluid rather on the back of here, and try and get these undone. Well, here we go. 2 nuts and spring washers holding it on, 13mm, well, half inch. 7/16 fitting obviously on the brake line. And obviously I had to take the bleed screw out so I could get to this bloody one there. That was a little bit tight, but not too bad. Oh, we can get rid of this bloody thing. Get a new one in here. I'll take that one apart afterwards and have a look at it, but not this second. I need to get it all. Need to get the back plate cleaned up now. Put some brake cleaner on there. Give it a damn good spray over and wipe off. Ready for everything to go back on again in a second. Right, there we go. That is back in now. As I say, just 2 nuts at the back. Say 13mm, half inch nuts and spring washers, and obviously the brake line is now reconnected. One thing to be careful of is when you're putting your spring in, that you don't foul the adjuster here, because that operates on that exact same pin that the spring sits on. So make sure when you put it in that the spring is not fouling that. It's a very important thing to do. And as I say, the spring goes from the pin on here over onto this post here. It doesn't go onto this shoe over here. It goes onto the post. And I know I found that a bit confusing when I first did it, because I was used to things like minis where you used to have 2 springs, one top, one bottom, that both connected to both shoes. But no, not on this one. This is how they go. Let's get the new shoes out and get them put on so I can then release the brake line. Get some fluid back in there. Oh, and before I put the shoes on, I'm going to put a little bit of, teeny bit of anti-seize in both ends of here, just to allow it to move about a bit without squealing and stuff. Now if you look in there, you'll see that spring is not touching that adjuster. It's just the wire going straight across, not actually touching. That's the way to do it. If you put it in any other way, it's just going to foul on the adjuster, and you could cause yourself a whole world of weirdness. Right, let's get the second one on now. That one, you just put it into the shoe, stick it on the post, then put it back into place over here and locate it at the bottom. And now what I'm going to do is locate the bottom spring in place, attach it to the other shoe that's loose, and then just clip the other shoe in with the spring attached. It's very simple. Right, there we go, back in. Right, when I said simple, obviously I meant simple to talk about, not simple to do. It's a pain in the bum, but what you do, easiest way, is once that top spring is on, you then take this bottom part out of its location here, put the spring into it in the hole here. The hole is the one above the two threaded holes, so there's only one place you can put it. You then connect this spring, this shoe rather, to the spring, clip this outer one back into place, and then the easiest way I've found is if you get a screwdriver in here, you put a screwdriver in here underneath this shoe, which will be sitting out on top of here obviously at the time, and then just pull it up so it levers the thing back. It will lever it into place and it will just clip in against that spring, because that spring is a bit strong like they usually are. Right, now all I'm going to do is put the retainer back on here and bolt it up. That's this retainer here. Put that back on and bolt it up. Now you can, if you want, use as a tab washer sitting in here with bend up tabs to stop the bolts undoing. But to be honest with you, I've never known them undo. I've only ever known them seize up. But if you want to be safe, you can put those in as well. I personally don't bother, because I've found they've never ever come undone on me. Right, let's get them bolted up. Right, well I've just washed the drum out with a whole load of brake cleaner. Then as I did the back plate. That'll be dry in a minute, I'll be able to put that on. And there was something I was going to say. What the hell was it? No, it's gone now. Bugger. I definitely thought there's something I was going to say. Let me see, these are all tightened up on here, so that's all done. What the fuck? Oh yes, brake shoes. If you're buying cheaper brake shoes, which I've done myself enough times in the past, these Mintex ones are quite a bit more expensive than the cheapy ones. But if you do buy the cheapy ones, just remember to shampoo these edges. Just put a slight shampoo on there. You can rub them with any bloody thing. A bit of sandpaper will do you. Just so they got a slight shampoo on both edges on both shoes. These ones are already shampooed, which is handy. I've had to shampoo them in the past, because if you don't, then they'll grab. You'll find your brakes stick until they eventually wear down. So yeah, important thing, don't forget that. Right, I'm going to put this drum back on. Actually, I'll release the fluid first, then I'll put the drum back on. Make sure there's stuff coming through, and that we got no leaks. Right, there we go. That is all on and all done. Now I've just adjusted it up. Adjustment is very simple on these. You've just got an adjuster behind here. Lock that on. Turn it until the wheel locks. In fact, I'll even show you why not. I'll turn it one click. I cannot move that wheel at all. That is lock solid. So I'll just back it off by one. Hang on. I haven't quite got it one click. It's only half a click. That's better. Now it should move happily. With either no binding at all or just a teeny weeny bit. There we go, that is that side done, although these are going to need readjusting after they've been used for the first time for a good few miles. I'll bed them in nicely, then I'll have to readjust them because they'll be loose again. But then they should be fine after that. Then all I got to do is repeat the process over the other side, just replacing the brake shoes and then bleed the brakes. Alright, and as I want to get this video out today, and I won't be doing the rest of that today because I haven't got time, I'm going to call the end of this. Right, that'll do for now. Unfortunately for you good people, and even more unfortunately for me, once this is out of here, which will be tomorrow, I will not be working on the Defender straight away. Ugh, get up, there we go. Yep, you've guessed it. I've got to work on the fucking thing that lost me 5 subscribers. Yep, the freeloader went through its MOT the other day. It actually passed, but there was an advisory, or in fact 3 advisories. One was get another fucking motor, because he's a shit. No, that wasn't one of them really, no. The advisories were, one of the front wheel bearings is dodgy. Fucking annoying, because I checked it and there was absolutely no play on it. But it is rough. And it is now, since we left the MOT station and started coming home, it's fucking noisy now. So I've got a new bearing coming for that. So I'm not looking forward to fitting because they are a fucking pain in the arse. Well, all cars, modern fucking cars, they've all got the same bloody setup. The same fucking McPherson fucking strut. With those 2 bloody bolts at the bottom holding the hub carrier onto it. And those 2 fucking bolts are nearly always seized fucking solid. I had to do a similar job on the Jag not so long ago, that bloody X-Type, and it's got exactly the same fucking type. And one of those bolts on that was, it welded itself in, I had to mill it out in the end. I couldn't drill it, I had to mill it. Excuse me, bits of moustache in my mouth. Yeah, reminds me I need to trim this back a bit. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so I've got to replace the bloody one of the front wheel bearings. I've got to take apart the other side caliper, the one that looked like it had been under the sea for a year, because it's not sliding as freely as it should. So although it passed the brake test, it's a bit sticky. That means the pins need freeing up and greasing. And I've also got to, where I freed up the handbrake linkages on the back of it, the offside one I forgot to grease, and it's become a bit sticky again. So I've got to grease that up quickly. But that's a very straightforward set of jobs. It's just the wheel bearing I'm really not looking forward to. Looks like I've got a press, eh? Yay. Bloody hell. Right, anyway, that's the end of this one. I'll show you when she's back on the road, this old girl. See if we can take her for a little drive or something. Right, take care people, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.